Hello everyone, welcome to GoTarryn TV. I'm Taryn the Traveling Trainer with GoTarryn Personal Training here out of the greater Atlanta area. About to welcome back a returning guest here on GoTarryn TV, Ms. Caitlin Russell of Russell Nutrition, who also is out of here in Atlanta, Georgia as well. Now before we bring Caitlin on, I'd like to ask everyone out there if you'd please be so kind as to like this video, leave us a comment, and share this video with all of your friends and family out there. We have brought Caitlin Russell here back on GoTarryn TV to talk about things that she could help us with, and that's how to eat better, how to live more joyfully, and how to eat more mindfully. Because she is a registered dietitian, she coaches people all over the world, virtually, online, and I'm excited to see her and ask her some of the things that she's got going on with her new free ebook on her website and everything else that Russell Nutrition provides you. So stay tuned, we'll be right back with Caitlin Russell, registered dietitian. And remember, with GoTarryn Personal Training, it's your time, it's your investment, it's your life. We'll be right back. Baby, I'm ready to go. Welcome back, everybody. And as you can see side by side, we're joined once again by Caitlin Russell of Russell Nutrition. Caitlin, how are you doing out there today?
I'm good, Taryn. How are you?
Very good, thank you. And it's so great to catch up with you here, Caitlin. It's been a while, as we mentioned before we started recording. And for those who might not have seen Caitlin before, we've had her here on GoTarryn TV in the past. Russell Nutrition is certainly known as to eat mindfully, live joyfully. And Caitlin's a registered dietitian, and she's here to tell you how you can eat more mindfully, live more joyfully. And we're going to talk a little bit about nutrition today and maybe dispel some myths out there in terms of, all the questions that people might have out there. Because certainly, Caitlin, when we talk about just the broad scope of nutrition, one of the things that we find, I'm sure you do much more than I do, when you have clients coming up to you, is that which diet do you choose? Just very open-ended question, and they ask you, well, should I do this diet, or this diet counter says what this one does, and so vice versa, and this goes against what I've learned, and etc. So I know that's a really fully loaded question, but hopefully we'll be able to get some good basic 101 principles out there for people watching. But the first question I have for you, Caitlin, I guess, just since it's been a bit, how have you been? How's your 2018? How's your family doing?
Oh, we're really good, Taryn. 2018 has been flying by, as I'm sure everybody feels the same. Can't believe it's already July.
Yes.
But no, it's been good. We moved, so that's probably the biggest thing that's happened to me. We moved last summer to just a different house.
Cool.
But still in the Atlanta area.
Okay.
My kids are 10 and 13 now, and my
Wow.
husband's doing well. So we have a new cat.
Oh, that's exciting.
But no, it's good. I still love what I do. I still see clients virtually. I work only virtually with clients, so I don't have a physical office. I might one day, but that's been going well. People seem to really enjoy not having to fight Atlanta traffic, and I can kind of work with people really from all over the world when it comes to coaching. There are some licensure things that you have to take into consideration when working with someone out of your state when you're a dietitian. So that's always something I'm cognizant of. You have to kind of play by the rules. But with coaching, you can kind of do that with anybody. Mm-hmm. And that's really, so that's a big part of what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's exciting, Caitlin. And a couple of things on that too is that one, I guess, do the kids still come to the Second Ponce Baptist Church for swim lessons?
You know what? We have switched since we moved. We're a little bit further north.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, it's a little bit further for us. So we're now swimming at a different pool. But that was so fun to run into you sometimes and see you kind of in action with your clients.
Yeah, that's amazing that, the girls are 10 and 13, you said. I can't believe it's been that long. They're growing up so quickly. And, with the other question I had, too, what you were just mentioning about training clients virtually and coaching them on nutrition, that's just what an incredible advantage you have, certainly logistically, and not much overhead too, with having to, like you said, the clients win as well because they don't have to get in their car and fight this horrible, miserable traffic of living in Atlanta. But that's very good. I mean, you've already said something that's really inspiring me to take my personal training, company to the next level and do something like that. So keep going on that. That's amazing. Because I'll tell you, in this right now, I don't have to tell you this because you already know, but this is the way to go, virtually, online, kind of like you and I right now. We're Skyping. I mean, it's all about efficiency of time and time management. And no question that online and, face-to-face virtually, that is definitely the key of today, because that way you're able to provide all the information to your clients that you're coaching one-on-one right there. And that's just amazing, because it's all about content. And that's
it is.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you mentioned a very valid point that when I graduated as a dietitian, video was out there, and some people were using it, but it wasn't used as much as it is now. I mean, gosh, 8-year-olds, can get online and, if they're with their parents' permission, and record a video. It's just amazing. And, everything's at our fingertips nowadays. Yeah. And so if you're working with someone one-on-one, that's great. I think personal interaction in person with someone is so important. But we can also utilize video and all the technology that we have now to just take it up to the next level with whatever it is that we do for a living. And I think businesses that are really on that, and they're really paying attention to video and how this next generation's coming up with, that's all they know, then they're going to do really well. I think you kind of have to get on the train no matter what. And I'm a little bit late to the game. This is the second career for me, but I have loved it. I have learned so much from, free things to things I've paid for. I've taken trainings online to become better at what I do. I do that, probably every couple of months, just to keep up with the latest science. And so, yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, it is. And what you just said, too, again, just to kind of piggyback on that, there's this new app. You may already be familiar with it. I just heard about it last night, called Instagram TV. It's IGTV. And are you using that one, Caitlin, already?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
I think they just launched it a couple weeks ago.
They did.
So I have, with summer and the kids are out of school, I haven't had time to really investigate it. But I know you can probably just go on there and do it. You don't have to do a lot of research. But yeah, it's huge. They're all go in that direction.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, because I read something last night that they're suspecting that they're predicting Instagram TV could actually get bigger than YouTube. That's how huge this looks, because they're challenging YouTube right now. In terms of social media, we've seen that with the millennials using Instagram more than Facebook. Facebook, they've almost said, is antiquated at this point. But that's just incredible. Again, everything's changing, but it's all about being on top of the ball. And, as things are changing and evolving just amazingly quickly. But, yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there, because I just heard about that last night, so I definitely want to get on that myself. So yeah, then Caitlin, just jumping right into this, whole nutrition topic of interest. Again, because one of the things that I do at Georgia State when I'm teaching is going over a section of nutrition, just generally speaking, and we use a website called choosemyplate.gov just to keep very fundamental basics. And certainly when I'm teaching this course, it's changed a lot from when you and I were in school growing up about the food pyramid, for example, And so there's a lot of really interesting key concepts and takeaways from that. And over the years, as we've progressed and evolved, we've seen Atkins diet, we've seen Weight Watchers, we've seen Mediterranean, you name it, all these different diets and such. And so I guess the first question from that point is, when a new person sees you and hires you, what approach, I guess, as a mission, and a vision could you give them from just kind of a good basic guidance, a starting point, so to speak?
Yeah, good question. So I'm going to give away my best tip here. So no, I'm just kidding. So no, it's such a loaded question, because you've got the government's opinion of what we should eat. And so we all know that the government is not really good at consensus, but I understand they've got scientists and doctors that are looking into what's the best diet to propose that the general public eats, and that's a great place to start.
Okay.
With just the fundamental. You've got your dairy, your protein, your carbs, your fruits and veggies. And so that's a great place to start, especially with someone coming from a standard American diet, which can be, a lot of fried foods, not a lot of fresh vegetables, not a lot of just pure clean water. If they're going to do dairy, it's got a lot of sugar in it, maybe, that kind of stuff. So if someone's going from the standard American diet up to my plate, that's wonderful. That's what we want. But then you can take it to the next level and really tailor that to what is going to work for someone. I mean, I've worked with vegans all the way to strict, carnivore paleo. And I think everyone, if you can find a way of eating, I don't like to use the word diet because diet technically when you define it, it's just the way we eat. It's just our way of eating. But people, they connote diet relating to weight loss and starvation and deprivation. So I don't really like to use the term. I like to just say the way of eating. So finding your way of eating that's going to work for you. If you have ethical things against eating animal protein, then I'm not going to sit there and espouse all the reasons why you should have animal protein. I'm going to work with clients and find a way, okay, well, how can we make sure you get enough protein?
Yeah.
That's really important, and healthy fats and lots of fiber and lots of water. So when it's a convoluted answer to your question because there's no one perfect diet for everyone.
True.
I've got people who do really, really well on pretty low carb, and I've got people who do really well on higher carb, lower fat, and everything in between. And so it comes down to figuring out what it is that somebody's body, what is your body really telling you that it needs? And somebody's, piped in when I said that once and like, well, my body's telling me I need French fries and ice cream. Well, okay. And I think all foods fit, but you also have to consider how that food's going to make you feel later. And if you're okay with, if you get bloated or, your face breaks out or you have trouble sleeping after eating certain things, then that's your choice. I'm not here to ever judge someone from choosing because they chose something that is quote unquote unhealthy. I'm human. I eat pretty much anything I want. There are certain foods that I avoid because I have sensitivities to them. But just to answer your question, bottom line, I come at it from a personalized point of view where I take a full-on nutrition and health history with each client, and we go based on their symptoms. What are they experiencing? And then we talk about foods they like, foods they don't like. Where can I stretch them a little bit? If they're not eating really any fresh vegetables, that I think bottom line, people just need to eat more vegetables. They really do.
Yeah.
Fresh or frozen is good too, as long as it's not fried. But just doing that one thing, I think will improve someone's health, a lot.
Yeah.
I can't quantify. But yeah, so I work with people and I just say, okay, what do you think is going to work for you? And if they're like, well, I have no idea, it's like, well, then I ask a series of coaching questions to kind of get at really what it is they're looking for, what they're capable of at that point. And then through working with me, I stretch them into, well, then when you ate that or whatever, how did you feel afterwards? They're like, yeah, I felt bloated and I'm kind of tired of feeling that way now that I'm aware of it, because awareness is key.
Yeah.
That's the first step. I don't have the magic answer for everyone. I always tell my clients, and you probably do the same thing, it's with, what to do. It's just a matter of really following through on what it is that you want. And so with diet, it's finding what works for a client. So
yeah. Good answer, Caitlin, because it's just like you said, like for myself as a personal trainer, it's the question I ask you would be like someone asking me, what is the perfect workout program, Taryn? Write it up for me. And it's like the most convoluted answer that, I could give, because like you said, it does specifically rely on each person individually, truly. And that's why it's so great that you're offering that. What a service, because, I think everyone should have and hire someone like you if they can, because just like personal training, or if they're in the gym on their fitness and focus on their workouts, arguably more importantly is what they're putting in their body. That's going to be their fuel source. So it's almost just so invaluable of them to come to someone like you to be able to help coach them individually and get them on track, and then help them out, because otherwise, they're just lost. They're a babe in the woods and they don't know what they're doing. And you said a mouthful when you talked about the American diet. It is very much full of processed, fried foods, high starch, high fat, high sugars, and unfortunately, I agree, everyone does need more vegetables, and we always hear this all the time, everybody needs to drink more water, but it's so true. I mean, you're absolutely right. And you go to any restaurant on the corner, especially fast food restaurants, they're nothing but just garbage, just unfortunately. And we could go on that as a tangent further out, because take it a step further, you talk about people's schedules and how busy and hectic we are. Again, we're running late on traffic and stuff like that, so we just got to get something quick. But that's a really good point, Caitlin. I like that. And so in your services, last time I spoke to you, there was a book that you provided too as well. So you seem very knowledgeable and really strong about the education part of it, which that's why I really admire what you're doing. What can you talk about that maybe just for a few moments, Caitlin, about why it's so important to educate people and kind of fix those myths and those untruths that they're hearing right now as far as it goes to nutrition?
Well, that's, education is so empowering. I mean, in any aspect, with your health being super important.
Yeah.
There's a lot of misinformation out there. There's a lot of fads. There's celebrities that tout certain ways of eating, or
right,
eating this supplement or that supplement. And some of them are okay. I don't want to diss anyone just because they're a celebrity and they talk about diet, but some people are they're so desperate to my niche, my passion is weight loss. And they're so desperate to lose weight. And so they'll kind of do almost anything to do it. And they don't think about the long term. They don't think about what it's doing to their health, their metabolism. If they're young women, what it might be doing to their fertility, later on. I mean, so many, I've heard horror stories of people just ruining, their body from just trying to lose weight using this crazy thing that they did. So I think education and really it empowers people, because they know, and even, I'll say it too, even with education and science, you've got scientists that find this result, and then you've got scientists that do a different study and they find a completely the opposite result, the whole thing with paleo, low carb versus high carb, low fat, what's better for weight loss, or what's better for diabetes or cholesterol. And they'll find, they'll find some nuances that are, one's better than the other, but it really, I go back to what I said earlier. It really just comes back to what is best for your body and what feels right. And for some people, they don't know what feels right, because they are so detached from, they look to others to know what to do. And so I think with education, you kind of read the facts and you read the science, or I do, and then I relay that out to my audience, and then let the person decide, okay, well, that sounds like something that I want to learn more about, or I'm interested in trying out whatever it was, that they were talking about, or I'm not ready for that yet. And that's okay too. But there are a billion other things that you could look at that you might be ready for. So I think, I understand this is all I do, and in your training, it's all you do. And I understand people have a job, they have families, friends, travel. It's not what they do. So you want to know kind of what is the best route. What do I need to do? Cut to the chase, cut all the, BS out and tell me what to do. And for me, what I found, I have to look at what a client is, what their goals are, where they're coming from, what their history is. It's not just, oh, well, here, eat this food plan, this meal plan, and get this much exercise and sleep. I mean, that's a great start.
Right.
But I've got clients who have done everything I've told them to do with diet and movement and sleep and stress management. Those are the 4 pillars that I really push. We've got to kind of get those fundamentals, the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
We got to get that down pat. But then I've got clients they're like, what gives? I'm doing everything you've told me to do. What do I do now? And what I've kind of, in the past few years, even personally, people think that in order to be healthy, they have to lose weight. Mm. And I turn it on its side or turn it on its head and say, in order to lose weight, you have to be healthy. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you look at health from, an integrative kind of functional standpoint, because you go to the doctor, your traditional internist, who I love doctors. I'm not dissing them at all. They've got a lot of schooling and a lot of knowledge, but they're only going to tell you what insurance will pay for. True. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so when you go into more of the integrative, the functional side of medicine, or for me, nutrition, mm-hmm. that's when we can really take up the hood on things and look under the hood and see really kind of what's going on mm-hmm. with your physiology. Mm-hmm. And that's what's so amazing to me. And we know a lot now more than we did, say, even just 5-10 years ago about insulin and healthy, levels of certain nutrients and hormone levels and neurotransmitters. And that all comes into play when I work with clients, mm-hmm. Because a lot of my clients have done, like I said, they've done everything I've recommended. And then they're still kind of like, okay, so then it's time to take it to the next level. And so that's more of where I'm focusing now, that I know more. I've been trained in, integrative functional nutrition. So you have to look at all of that, but you don't have to hire someone like me for that. It'll probably cut down on your learning if you do, but you can go and Google anything. Now the sources, we don't know if those are going to be truly, up to par, because you don't want to go with just, a fly-by-night kind of company or person who doesn't really know what they're doing. Mm-hmm. But my passion is to really help people uncover what it is that's keeping them from where they want to be. I think you need to be happy in your body the way it is now, but you can also lose weight too. There's a big movement now with health at every size. Where, you've got people who are quote unquote overweight, obese, but their biomarkers are still pretty good. Mm-hmm. And that's great. But I've got clients who've done that. They're like, I'm healthy. The doctor says I'm healthy, but I still, I don't feel right. I want to fit, in my clothes better. I'm just feeling, not like I used to. And so that's where I think, okay, if you're coming from a good place mentally about who you are as a person, are you happy with where you are? And not looking at weight loss as, making you, well, once I lose this weight, then I'll be happy. It's like, no, you have to be happy now. And so we, it all works together. So but education is huge. And I have a new ebook that I put out on my website about 6 months ago. And so it talks a little bit more about that and becoming healthy, becoming happy where you are now and healthy too. But and then letting that then lead to wherever it's going to take you with your health. Because psychologically, it's super important to get there from your belief system and your, what you think about yourself. I mean, do you truly love yourself? I mean, that's something I talk with clients about. Mm-hmm. It has nothing to do with what you eat. It's like, do you love yourself? Mm-hmm. And a lot of people, they look in the mirror and they don't like what they see, and that's so sad. And so I help people kind of get to that point. There's a lot of other things that I do, but that's a big one.
No, that's powerful, Caitlin. And, I admire that, because it's like you're getting to the source and the root of the problem right there. That's huge. So that's amazing. Let me ask you this, Caitlin, because you hear a lot of the topic on intermittent fasting and detoxes and cleanses, and people out there in terms of, well, I just want to go ahead and do a jump start, and where do I begin? Like, what's the best cleanse? Should I detox? What are your thoughts of intermittent fasting? When they ask you things like this, is there a direction you like to kind of guide them on that? Although I know it's probably, again, an individualized personal approach, but what is your thoughts of something like an intermittent fasting?
Yeah, so intermittent fasting is really kind of in the news a lot right
Yeah.
now.
Mm-hmm.
It's been around a long time. Um, and when I say a long time, I mean a long time.
Mm-hmm.
When you think about, and people kind of might roll their eyes when they hear me say this, but when you think about our ancestors, a long, long time ago when they were walking around 10,000 plus years ago, when we didn't have a Starbucks on every corner, a gas station with food in it, Kroger open 24 hours a day, they really had to hunt and forage for food.
Mm-hmm.
And so there would be periods of when they were hungry
Mm-hmm.
and when they weren't eating. But they survived, and then when they would get to a food source, they would probably eat a lot of it because they didn't know when their next time around of finding food would be.
Mm-hmm.
And so when people say, well, we know that they were healthy back then, they died when they were in their 40s. Well, okay, well, we don't know that really. But they also had, they didn't have modern medicine. They
Mm-hmm.
didn't have all the tools and technology that we have now to keep us alive longer.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But there is intermittent fasting is something that I don't think it's going away. I don't think it's a fad. I think you can do it the wrong way. But basically you're fasting overnight naturally. If you're someone who eats dinner by 7 and maybe you have like a dessert or something like that, after that, but then you go to bed and then you wake up, and have breakfast, say at 6, 7, 8 in the morning, you have fasted overnight. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what intermittent fasting does is it takes it up another level where you are, say you stop eating 6 or 7 p.m. at night, and then you go and you basically skip breakfast, and then you don't eat until lunch. But then you have all your calories that you're going to need for the day within, say, a 6, 7, 8 hour window.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only time that you're eating. So I have clients who do that, and they love it. Their biomarkers have improved. They feel younger, and people tell them, their skin's clearing up. Some of their issues that they've had with joint pain and sleep has gotten better. Their insulin response has gotten better. So I think under, proper guidance, intermittent fasting is something that, you shouldn't really just count it off as being bad. It's something that if done properly, that you can do it the right way, and there can be benefits. But, with other fad diets, it's anything that's going to introduce a supplement or something that you have to take for the diet to work, then I'm not a huge fan of that. I do, and I like supplements, pharmaceutical grade supplements that you do not buy on Amazon. I do not recommend that because Amazon, it's like the Wild West. And so you don't really know if what you're getting is the true supplement.
Right.
I would buy directly from the company or buy directly from a supply, a healthcare provider who carries them in their store. But yeah, intermittent fasting, it's really interesting. And I've got people who are not clients of mine, but other healthcare providers even who are a little bit more out there, who go, who do even longer fasts, and they're still alive. So, they seem to be healthy. I just, whatever you're kind of comfortable with. And for some of us, me included, it's like my body's kind of like, it's kind of an experiment. I'm not like doing radical things, but if I hear about something, it's like, well, I kind of want to see what that's all about, especially because I've got clients that come to me and what do you know about, so and such and such. So intermittent fasting's, like I said, I think if it's done right, it can be beneficial.
Perfect. That's excellent, Caitlin. Very well said. And this is amazing. I can't believe 30 minutes flown by so quickly here, Caitlin. It's just incredible to catch up with you. But before we let you go, a couple of the questions I had here. Let's plug your website. Let's also plug the name of your ebook that's available, and the best methods and ways that people can reach you directly or via social media, please.
Sure. So my website is russellnutrition.com. And it has everything there. I've got my free ebook that talks about natural ways to lose weight without dieting. Because I don't believe in dieting. I really don't believe in calorie counting. So that's there. And then I've got ways to get in touch with me if you're interested in working with me. I've got a great 90-day program that I am super, super excited about. And then I also offer food sensitivity testing if someone's really struggling with certain conditions like Crohn's, colitis, migraines. It's more clinical side of what I do, but I do also offer that kind of testing. So yeah, that's where you find me.
Perfect. And we'll get the website on the screen here momentarily when we fade to black. And Caitlin, thank you so much for all the knowledge and help you've provided here. It's so amazing and great to catch up with you. And look forward to talking to you very soon and getting back on these recurring video podcasts with you, please.
I would love that. Thank you, Taryn. I so enjoy this.
My pleasure, Caitlin. Well, we'll let you go and have a great rest of the week. Good luck settling in the new home and with the new cat as well, too. So congratulations. And we will be seeing you soon, Caitlin. And for the folks watching, here comes Russell Nutrition contact info right now.